ever sit there watching the candles move and realize you're not even trading the market anymore? You're trading your own nerves. That was me for years. Every morning I'd wake up thinking this was the day I'd finally get it. New plan, new indicator, new promise. By lunchtime, same story. Another loss, another hole in the wall. The truth? I wasn't losing because of the market. I was losing because I was fighting my own biology. My brain hated uncertainty. It wanted to protect me, to fix things, to take control. And every time I felt that fear, that small hit of adrenaline when price twitched against me, I'd do something stupid just to stop the feeling. Add to the position, close too early, move the stop, anything to feel safe again. That's not strategy, that's survival instinct. And survival doesn't make you profitable. It just keeps you broke a little longer. I used to tell myself I was disciplined, but deep down I knew I was just addicted to the idea of progress. Studying charts all night made me feel productive, like I was in control. But the truth? I was studying to avoid trading, because trading meant risk, and risk meant pain, and my brain wanted comfort more than success. You think it's a discipline problem. You tell yourself, if I just lock in harder, I'll stop doing this. Watch yourself during a live trade and be honest. It isn't discipline. It's your nervous system trying to save you while you try to trade. Your brain isn't built for markets. It's built for survival. To a stressed brain, a red candle isn't information, it's threat. When price ticks against you, your body fires the alarm. Heart rate up, breath tight, vision glued to the candle. That alarm's job is simple. Make you do something fast. So you do something, not because it's smart, but because doing anything feels safer than sitting in uncertainty. You drag the stop, you tap out early, you flip. In that moment, it feels like relief. Relief pretending to be control is why you stay stuck. Here's the real loop you're in. Loss, threat, escape the feeling. Break rules, bigger hole. Now you need a big win just to feel normal. By the time you notice, you're not trading a plan. You're defending your ego. You argue with the chart to protect the story. I'm not dumb, I can fix this. That story makes you press when you win and chase when you lose. Same engine, two costumes. Look at the tiny leaks, not the dramatic blow-ups, the little safety edits. You nudge a stop just for a second. You jump in early, just a quick one. You tap out even though nothing in the market changed. Each one gives you a small shot of comfort. Stack them and you get a pattern. Inconsistent process, inconsistent results. Why does it repeat? Because your brain rewards relief. You feel a spike of fear, you act, fear drops. Your brain says, nice, that worked. It doesn't care that the P&L got worse. It just learned that breaking rules reduces stress. Next time the same stress shows up, it pulls the same lever faster. That's habit formation in the wild. Wins bend you too. One clean trade and the dopamine hits. Now you want that feeling again, not the setup again. So you press on a mediocre idea and call it confidence. When the hit doesn't come, you press harder. That's how a good day turns into a wrecked week. And you feed this cycle with progress theater. New tools feel like progress. They're just safer than execution. If study doesn't end in action, it's hiding. Let's get clear on the enemy. During a trade, the body runs 3 tricks. First, tunnel vision. Attention collapses onto the last candle, and you stop seeing the bigger context that made the entry valid. Second, time distortion. 20 seconds near your stop feels like 5 minutes. You convince yourself it's stuck. Third, story surge. Fast little arguments that sound wise because they remove tension. Protect capital. I'll re-enter. I'll get a cleaner price. Those stories aren't insight. They're escape routes your biology throws you when it thinks you're in trouble. I lived inside that storm for years. Price would hover where I said I was wrong, and I'd feel my face heat up. I'd flatten the trade to be safe, then watch it run to target without me. I called the market manipulative. Truth. I bailed to quiet my nerves. The market didn't beat me. My need for instant relief did. The market is neutral. It doesn't hate you or test you. It waves uncertainty at everyone and watches who has a way to stand in the wave. If you don't, you'll blame luck, fills, or algos. But the outcome repeats because your reactions repeat. What does process even mean here? Not a fancy spreadsheet. Process means rules you can follow while stressed. If your rules only work when you're calm, they aren't rules, they're wishes. That's why your best thinking and backtesting disappears live. Stress moves you from slow thinking to fast action. You try to reason with adrenaline and lose. Every time. Here's what you need right now. Name the real enemy. It isn't the market. It's the reflex that trades to end discomfort. It's the habit that confuses relief with skill. It's the ego defense that takes every red candle personally. Until you see that clearly, you'll keep repainting your plan instead of fixing the part of you that panics. Start noticing the exact second you switch from plan to protection. You'll feel it. Breath short, mouse hand tense, thoughts speeding up, eyes glued to a micro move. That's the crossroads. That moment decides your month more than any entry does. If you don't recognize it, you'll keep calling the exit logical. It wasn't logic. It was you trying not to feel. This isn't about becoming a Zen monk. You don't need to be fearless. You need a way to trade while fear is present without letting fear run the controls. That's the bridge, and that's where we go next. I stopped trying to be fearless. That goal kept me stuck. Fear shows up anyway. What changed my trading was building a way to operate while fear is in the room, and making that way stronger than my mood. I started by making my decisions clear before the session. Not a novel, just a small set of rules I could remember when my heart rate climbed. What qualifies as a trade for me? What disqualifies it? Where I'm wrong, where I'm done. When the trade went live, I followed those rules like a seatbelt. If I wanted to change anything, it had to match the rules I wrote when I was calm. If it didn't, I waited. That one boundary cut most of my chaos. Next, I made panic slow down. Fear loves speed. I added a tiny pause between urge and action. Every time. One breath, one recheck, one question. That pause let my thinking catch the wheel before my thumb did. I stopped babysitting every tick. Staring at micro moves cooks your nerves and convinces you something must be done. I picked defined checkpoints to reassess. Structure, timing, context. Not every flicker. Between checkpoints, I let the trade breathe. Less watching, fewer mistakes. I treated my body like part of the chart. When the heat kicked up, tight chest, clenched jaw, tunnel vision, I named it. Not poetry, just, okay, heat's here. Then one question. Did market conditions change, or did my feelings change? If it was feelings, I held the line. If conditions genuinely shifted, I followed the exit I wrote when I was calm. No debates, no hero speeches. I changed what being right meant. For years, right meant green. That definition trained me to chase outcomes and ignore process. I flipped it. I'm right if I executed the plan I made while calm. If the trade lost by rule, still right. If I won by breaking rules, wrong. Calling a green trade wrong stung. Good. My brain stopped celebrating lucky recklessness and started valuing clean execution. I built a scoreboard I couldn't argue with. Simple behavior checks. Did I take only qualified trades? Did I respect where I'm wrong? Did I follow my exit? Did I make any unauthorized edits? End of day, the grade came from those boxes, not the dollar column. When the behavior score improved, the account followed, not the other way around. I set boundaries for the session, not punishment, protection. There's a point where attention, emotion, and decision quality drop. I decided ahead of time where enough lives, and I honored it. Stopping on time kept tomorrow clean. Clean tomorrow's compound. I practiced uncertainty on purpose. Small, controlled reps of doing nothing while the urge to meddle screamed. Hold through normal noise. Breathe. See it. Let it pass. Do it again. I wasn't trying to erase the urge. I was teaching my system that the urge is just a sensation. The more reps I stacked, the less authority that sensation had. I simplified my workspace. One view for context, one for execution. Fewer opinions, fewer excuses. Complexity felt smart. Under stress, it became a trapdoor to second guessing. I kept the review short and honest. What I did right by rule, where I broke, and the first fix. No long diary, no self-hate monologue. A note I'd actually read tomorrow beats a masterpiece I'll never open. I also stopped rebuilding my entire approach after a bad day. That was shame trying to feel productive. I kept the small set of rules and trained myself to obey them in the loud moments. The plan wasn't the issue, my reflex was. What changed after all this wasn't that fear disappeared. It showed up like always, but it lost command. I could feel the spike, name it, wait, and stay with the plan. Losers were clean, winners were calmer. The curve stopped acting like a mood swing and started stepping like stairs. From the outside, it looked boring. From the inside, it felt like finally breathing. If you're hearing yourself in this, good. You're not broken. You're wired like a human in a place that rewards calm machines. You don't need to become a robot. You need a simple way that still runs when your chest is hot and your brain is loud. That's the work we do here. We cut the noise, we keep it real, and we build something we can trust under pressure. Stick around. Let's get you steady.